Hi, and welcome to this live reading from Lowlands by Cosco, and this is presented by Itsy Bitsy Book Bits. Chapter 1. The apartment feels eerily silent, an unsettling calm heavy in the air. Footsteps echo down the hallway, drawing closer, a soft rhythmic beat that seems louder in the stillness. The door creaks open, and Tom steps inside, his figure sharp against the dim light filtering through the windows. He's dressed with precision, a crisp shirt and tie, but his face betrays him, worry etched deep into his features, eyes darting with a barely contained urgency. "Grace, you up?" His voice cuts through the quiet, tense and laced with something unspoken. "Did you see this?" The bedroom door opens slowly as if Grace is emerging from a fog. She steps out bleary-eyed, wearing an oversized sweater that clings to her like a blanket. Concern pulls her brows together as she pads softly across the carpet toward him. "Oh, what's going on?" Her voice is barely above a whisper, still soft from sleep. Tom glances back, motions her into the living room. "Big explosion," he says, his voice low and grim. "Like a nuke." They sit down together, Tom's hand gripping the remote a bit too tightly. He clicks on the television, and the screen flickers to life, flooding the room with the harsh glare of the breaking news. On the screen, handheld footage shakes, capturing the black smoke pouring from the ground in Iran. The camera zooms out, showing a dark plume billowing upward, choking the sky and the land below in shadow. The scene is relentless, consuming everything. Grace's face is ashen, her gaze fixed, unblinking as the dark fumes unfurl in twisting spirals. Her voice trembles as she finally speaks, the words coming out barely audible. That looks like it came from underground." Tom nods, his jaw tight. "Yeah," he says, his voice hollow. "Someone planted it, waited." The news footage loops, replaying the scene of devastation in a horrifying rhythm, a brutal reminder of something she can't quite grasp but feels deep in her chest like an ache. Grace swallows, the weight of it sinking into her. "Who?" Her voice breaks slightly, the question hanging in the charged air between them. Tom's answer is a mere whisper. "That area of the world? Could be anyone." She sighs deeply, the sound thick with helplessness. "Terrifying." In a gesture almost out of place amid the chaos on the screen, he reaches out, pulling her close. The smell of smoke clung faintly to his clothes, mingling with his familiar scent. She nestled against his chest, feeling the solid rhythm of his heartbeat, a steady anchor against the storm raging outside their walls. He lowers his head, his voice soft against her hair. "Sorry," he murmurs. "Everyone was smoking there." She closes her eyes, letting the moment ground her, her worry and love mixing, blurring the edges of her fear. Tom's gaze shifts back to the screen, his face strained, each muscle taut with unspoken questions. He takes a breath, then another, as if bracing himself. "You think this is the end of the world?" His words come out so quietly they almost disappear into the room. Grace lifts her head, her eyes finding his, and for a moment her face softens, the sadness giving way to something tender, something she holds close. "I'm just glad I'm here with you." They watch the screen together, the images replaying endlessly, a haunting loop of horror and destruction. In that moment, his hand warm in hers, the terror feels distant, held at bay by the fragile comfort of his presence beside her.